Arsenal are about to sign the next Haaland, and dare I say, he's a more quality player than Erling Haaland. The record-breaking Erling Haaland. Most Premier League goals ever in a Premier League season. And this lad has shown me that he can be better than him. And he's only going to cost 45 million because that's his transfer clause. He clocked in on a 36.1 km in speed, which would make him one of the fastest players. Faster than 72 million pound Rasmus Højlund at United. He'd be up there. That's how fast. And he's 6'4", the lad. 6'4", 6'5", around that. And Erling Haaland is 6'4". But there's a great difference in these lads because look, Erling Haaland was compared by the great Roy Keane and Micah Richards to a League Two player when it comes to his play on the ball. You know, they did not disrespect him when it comes to finishing because Erling Haaland can finish, right? We all know that. But when it comes to when he has the ball at his feet, back against the goal or going against goal, outside the box, Roy Keane, you know, one of the legends of the game, compared him to a League Two player. Wow. Getting compared to not even League One, not even Championship, League Two. Embarrassing for Erling Haaland right there. But this lad, right here, let me show you this. Let me show you this. And you're going to tell me if this is more quality than Erling Haaland. Lads. Lads. When have you seen something like that? That is a nuts finish. A crazy finish right there. The technical ability to be able to do that on the volley, you know, not even directly in front of the goal, you know, to an angle. You can't hit it any better than that. And this lad Sesko is 20 years old, right, at Leipzig, around 50 million. Obviously, he has a transfer clause, and that's going to have to be activated to sign this lad. And, you know, this season, he has had 14 goals in 31 matches and 2 assists. Now, you might be saying, well, he scores a goal every 2 games, 20 years old, he could develop. But let me hold you right there. Let me hold you. Let me stop you right there because you might be looking at that. Look in between the lines. Look right here when it comes to his game-to-game minutes. Didn't play, wasn't in the squad against Leverkusen first game of the season. 10 minutes, 15 minutes, like 26, and finally gets a start. You know, he scored 2 goals off the bench, by the way, against Union Berlin right here. So that's his first 2 goals in 15 minutes right here. 26 minutes. Then he finally gets a start, doesn't score or anything, but they win. Against Bayern, he comes in as a sub again, then starts against Bochum, but then he, you know, on the bench, doesn't play, and then boom, 15 minutes, he gets a goal, and then he gets another start. Still kind of a slow season. He starts like 2 out of like 10 games right here. 7 minutes, you know, against Dortmund, 14 minutes, and then boom, it seems like here against Frankfurt, the tides kind of turn for him, and it becomes a consistent starter. They lose 2 games in a row, and then he scores here, plays his first full game at game 19, right? 1 goal. And then he goes on a streak here, aside from the Mönchengladbach and the game right here. I don't want to butcher their name, but I'm going to call him D98 right here. And Mainz. He scores or assisted every game aside from 3 games here. Once he becomes like a consistent starter, this 20-year-old striker, goal and assist minimum. And you might be saying, oh, he's doing it against mid-table clubs. He scores here against Bayern in a 2-1 loss. He gets here against Borussia Dortmund, who are in the Champions League final, lost by the way, scored. You know, Frankfurt also scored. If you check the stats here, I think the season mostly starts here from the 19th game forward, which gives him around 15 games where he absolutely goes on a tear, where out of, you know, the last like 10, 15 games, he just 3 games where he doesn't score or assist. At 20 years old, it shows the type of quality this lad is. Once you give him minutes, he will perform. And he has had, you know, multiple times where he comes off the bench, gets 10, 15 minutes, and scores at least once, maybe even twice. Check the Champions League here, you know, scored twice against Young Boys. Didn't really get a start against Man City here. Against, obviously, Real Madrid, he does get the starts. And, 2-1 loss isn't too bad against the champions of Europe. So that just shows, you are going up against a very tough opponent in Real Madrid at 20 years old. Obviously, once you go to a Premier League, you'll play better center backs on the level of, Rudiger. It's a lot more physicality, and that's what Real Madrid's defense really brings. It's a lot of physicality when you're going up against the likes of Rudiger. Even Nacho at the time is the center back they was pairing. Obviously, Militao, once he gets out of injury, these are physical center backs, and he'll get more used to it once he goes to the Premier League, to a side like Arsenal, which would be absolutely perfect for the lad. And right here, 14 goals in 31 games, and maybe 15, 16 of those he started, and the rest were off the bench. So that just shows the quality this guy has, and I believe he would be an absolute great striker for Arsenal. He, in my opinion, could hit the levels of Erling Haaland or even better at that team, because the service will come at Arsenal with one of the best playmakers in Odegaard. You got Declan Rice, you got Kai Havertz, Bukayo Saka, Martinelli, Trossard, Gabriel Jesus, nothing but creative geniuses, and they need a finisher, and this lad Sesko can do that. And on the ball, he's better than Erling Haaland. It looks like his finishing skill can be on the level of Haaland. He has to prove it in the Premier League, though. But the potential on this lad, the sky's the limit for him. And I believe he could genuinely outplay Erling Haaland, because Erling Haaland has all those stats because of the service. He struggled without De Bruyne. With De Bruyne, he was great. Well, this lad is about to get Odegaard, who is, in my opinion, at this moment, at a higher level than De Bruyne. So, Odegaard, Sesko will be the next De Bruyne Haaland. Right there, official.